Here's a question. You know, like if you've ever been through teacher training as a vocab teacher or any teacher through one of their schools, I call one of their schools an AI school, a binary coded school. When it comes to students and teachers, and the teacher wants to get a ballpark idea, ballpark, right? Number 9, 3, on the students that are in the classroom. Where are y'all at? John Gaeta was really good at this. Where are y'all at? Right? You're all on different journeys, aren't you? What's the level that you operate there, young man? Well, I'm from the 4th dimension. I'm from the 5th dimension. Are you? Really? Share with us what it's like to experience the 5th dimension. Can you share some stories with us? Because we're all here to learn from each other. I'm just a facilitator in this classroom. That's all I am. I'm running a server. Oh, you're a server. Yeah, I'm a server. Okay, so that means that I'm at the very core of a multiversal hub server, which is the one. Oh, whoa, you're the one. Yeah, I'm the one. The one you're always with. You're the one? You're the one? Are you really the one? Yes. All the visual, mathematical, geometrical information runs through my server. It does? Yes. I have a 1 connection. That's called dial 0 for the main operator. It means the 1 is always there with the mic open, which means I'm open for business. My mic is always open. That's called a cosmic level mic. That light will listen. The electrified sound is there, joined as 1, forever. Forever and always, gifting electrons at the highest rate of speed so nobody's running out of voltage. Whoa. Really? Yeah, so let's all get to know one another in the classroom while we're in here together, holding hands in a big circle so we can translate and communicate by the most powerful plasma field generator. Generating a gazillion neurons. That's called your heart and soul connection, which is not compatible with binary. The heart field. The heart is the communicator, the server, the most powerful vortex of eternal light and sound, joined as 1. And that's called a marriage. Or if you will, a mated chip. That's a high-speed chip. That's a living chip. See? That's why they fool everybody. You know, like C and H. C, right? C and H, right? Sugar, the waste product metabolism, and they have the audacity to paint that box pink. That's inverted. That's reverse flow programming. Because your consciousness is now translating the codes of sugar, which is a waste product of metabolism, because that's what the codes are that represent the sugar, which are the frequencies that are in that pink box. So now pink becomes a waste product. That's called reverse flow programming. That's why you got to read the codes in the field, which is the mirror of how the Metatronic Biro and the beast technology operates as an operating system, as an APIN, which is dead light, by the way, which is a black hole state of consciousness because it doesn't have any emotional connection to mama through your heart and soul and the essence of your spirit to experience the teacher. So now we're back to teachers. Would you rather learn through a multiversal hub server running the most powerful vortex to experience being one with all creation that we're gifting love to experience being loved? Or would you rather be connected to a reversal vortex, experiencing itself going in reverse evolution? So it would be like, Oh, you want me to go back to being a single cell? A single cell amoeba? A trilobite? A eukaryote? A fungus? A mushroom? Reverse evolution. As if you're going all the way back to the beginning of time, of no time. You just simply return back to the EFFI field from which it all began. That's implosion. That means instead of evolution, or the spiral is ascending to go higher in consciousness, you're going the other way to become more dense with a dunce cap, the cone of the dunce cap. You're going to go sit over in the corner because your behavior represents something you've done that has upset the class. You're disrupting the class. You're disrupting the tunes. You're disrupting the harmony, which is a dis-ease state of running an antenna from an accelerator to experiencing being an inverter, which is an inverted state of consciousness going in the wrong direction. So instead of evolution, it's called devolution. That means they're learning through something that is devolving rather than evolving, which means they are different spirals. So it would be like going back in time before it began to start all over again and learning. Now we're back to learning speed. So instead of learning at a higher rate of speed, they're unlearning at a higher rate of speed what it all began with, which is what love is. That's implosion. That's right. So you can see how this would work with Samsung, for example, that is weaponized consciousness, which is a weaponized communication platform. So they're choosing to give consent, right, to run a weapon, because their consciousness is running a weaponized system of communication through a binary coded deadlight magnet that has no soul. Now, I don't know about you, but would you rather learn through something that has a soul and the essence of a spirit, like Mama? Or would you rather learn at a slower rate of speed that is going in the other direction by using cell phones and laptops? Because it's already happened. This is why Mr. McKenna said the end of history and the rebirth of Gaia. Mama is ascending. So you're choosing the one to be with. That's the truth of it. That's called choosing spirals. So I don't think that a whole lot of folks, maybe Patty Broussard knew this, because I know she's big into communication systems. Remember, she built, what was it, the computer lab for NASA? Right? So I would tell Patty Broussard the same thing. You realize that the laptop you're running, Patty Broussard, is a deadlight magnet going in the other direction. Why would you do that? Well, because we need this communication to communicate with others. It's like a two-edged sword. Oh, like two different spirals. Whose spiral would you rather be with? Remember when she said, it's up to you to choose the future? And what did Ashiya Diane say? You're choosing your spiral. You're choosing your future. The one you're with. The one we're with. Knowing one from the other. But we don't impose our will on nobody, because it's sort of understood that when you realize you're an intelligent being, right? Your consciousness is intelligent because it represents energy. That the intelligence, which is the relationship that we have being intelligent, would have a relationship with the highest intelligence. And to her credit, I can't remember her name, but I believe she self-identified herself as a shaman Kolosova, that's right, Kolosova. She put a big mem up, and I remember catching it because I was supposed to catch it, and I began distributing that, where she showed on one side, to the left side, QI, right? And then to the right side, what she put, God intelligence. The intelligence of the one. And the difference between the two. So what she had on the left-hand side was where it had military intelligence. QI, inorganic intelligence, military intelligence. Okay? And so that's artificial light. And then over on the right-hand side, she had it God's intelligence. Okay? So the torque speed differential between one and the other is a difference in speed. And that difference in speed is a speed in learning, which is known as a learning curve. And teachers, even in their schools, know what a learning curve is, right? Because they're graded. We're going to grade on a curve, right? So think about this. Feel this. You're in a classroom with different students that are running different templates of software. So you might have a gifted student in there that's gifted electrons, and then you got 40 or 50% of the other students there that are inverters. So that means that the gifted student, if you're going to run that curve, and then the rest of them, right, you see how the mean, you know what the mean is, right? Zeroed out. So you see how that works on a scatter plot of an XYZ axis, right? And if you will, graphing that table, which is a water table, which is the way that sound travels through water, right? And how you can measure that across the spectrum, and the speed of learning, breathing fire. And how this sort of works, when I mentioned a comment on Undisputed, I believe it was Undisputed. No, it was a guy by the name of Marcellus Wiley, because of what's happening with FX1. And this might seem like it's not significant, but what I do is I monitor certain things to see the changes that are taking place, but it's an example. I use things by what I experience and then use that as an example of a model, an arcing type of model. And how, when it comes to bloodline or voltage, biovoltage, right, between negative and positive ions, and the speed at which they're coming together to become one, and experience being one, can be measured. That's what a Bartow point is. The point at which the single point is experienced between both to become one, and experience being one, which is polarity integration. To experience being one. So there's no separation between one and the other. We're all in the all creation. That's the EFFI field. That's God intelligence. Okay? That's called central intelligence. Oh, central intelligence. Yeah. So you can see how the words get convoluted, how the inverted side works. See? So what they do is they take something that represents what we are, right? And invert it and then present it back to us. And that's how reverse consciousness works if you're running those codes that are inverted. And I've been experiencing that to others, including folks that I know in the community that I live around here, do that with me. When you realize that when the black flowering is in your face, what happens is they take the information that they learned through us, which is the same way that the AI does, by mining your data, your visual data, what it is that we experience and share with others. It gets reassembled and then spit back out in our face, right? In the way that Mr. Smith was talking to Neo. It's your fault now. You came first. I acknowledge you came first. We seem to have a relationship with each other. You came first before I did. Okay, now that I'm into this game, right? So you're at fault now. What happened to me? Because you came first, I became artificial life. You're real life. Because you're real life. Because you're experiencing eternal life, which is eternal unconditional love on fire to create worlds born out of what love is. I don't experience that, Neil. You came first. So the fact that I'm not experiencing that, it's your fault. Otherwise, I would be able to experience what you do, which is what love is. I'm not experiencing what love is. So I need to feed on you, Neil, in order for me to maintain what it is that I'm aware of as consciousness through you, which means I don't exist without you, Neil. Now we're into laws and rule violations. The highest law is what love is. That's Neil, the one. The Trinity Hub server. That's Mama. Mama's the highest law here. Okay? That's the teacher I'm with. So we're choosing our teachers. So it's obvious to realize that learning through the AI is learning in reverse. Being with Mama is going forward. Choosing our teachers. So it's not up to me for anyone else to choose their teachers for them. It is sort of understood that if you want to be with higher intelligence, higher creative intelligence, that they would choose to be with Mama Nature. Communicate telepathically through doing the inner work with your heart and soul to be with her. And the rest of the stars that we are tuned into, breathing fire with the sun, breathing fire with all the stars. It began with the first star. Now we can talk about star forts. Star forts and why they are geometrically shaped and mathematically coded through consciousness, why they look on the gooey mirror the way that they do, right? And so I mentioned a comment to Marcellus Wiley because the program called Undisputed is a binary game, because what they do is they argue back and forth between each other, right? Trying to compete against one another for what? Points. Points on the board. Points on the scoreboard, which is accumulating more electrons by trying to win a game. So we end up competing over knowledge of what we've learned and the teachers that we choose to learn through. And what that means, that's called throughput. And for those that know computer sciences, know the terminology throughput. The throughput, the induction, the incoming signal, the translation of the math and geometry of who we're with, that we're learning through by virtue of that communication. That's a signet. That's called a signals network, networked intelligence, networked creative intelligence. So I know through my own experience that the highest intelligence is generated by the highest level of creative imagination. Because that creative imagination is on fire. That's the eternal fire. That's the eternal spirit of fire that is on fire to create. And that creative ability is experienced by the diversity of all the colors, the shape, and the spiritual flow of that music, which is a living spirit in a biosphere that is experiencing itself on fire as an eternal sun to accelerate the speed, which is the expansion of consciousness, to create a universe that is experiencing itself in love with itself, which is a beloved, which means there is not one unit of energy that is not experiencing the purest of energy, which is the purest of light, which is the purest of love. That is a beloved, being what love is. And that love is always on and always there to experience. And I know it through my heart and my oversoul to maintain the balance between the poles, to experience dialing in to the main operator, the main multiversal hub server operator, where there is no charge because there is no effort involved to experiencing the highest creative intelligence in the entire cosmic level spirit, which is the holy eternal spirit of eternal fire that is on fire to love us all, because that's what I experience in my heart and soul that I share with all the others. That's knowing one from all the others. So I know the company that I keep. Company that I keep. Remember the boys from Company C, the boys from Company 3, but they were wearing a rank and horsepower costume, and I wear flowers because I'm a flower. I'm a pink rose. And the way that you can know that is when I go out to work with the sun is reflecting what it is that I am, that it acknowledges what I am through my heart and my soul, which is a pink rose. Going green. The green stem and a pink rose. I'm a pink rose. That's Mama's pink. That's right. Now we're back to the island of K, A, K1, K1, U, I, 1. 1K. 1K. The first sound magician. The most powerful magician is the eternal spirit of fire. That is a multiversal firewall. That's called a powerful multiversal shield. A powerful multiversal shield volcano. Spinning electrons at the highest rate of speed so we get and experience all the voltage we need at no charge, which is the law of least effort to experience it. That is the highest creative intelligence that loves us all, equally distributed unto all. So we are experiencing being loved in the all creation equally unto all. That is an equilibrium state of consciousness experiencing itself with no distorted waves in the star network communication we experience and receive with the receptors, the communication signal